Chronokai Christor.
Our shaman claimed that the elements of water have become greatly agitated by the population of the water source. We know that the Exodar's power core is lodged into the mountain to the west. It must be leaking volatile fluids into the water supply. I need you to get me more information. He points to a flask and nods. You are to take this flask and follow the beach north until you reach the area where the rivers of blood mist drain into the ocean. Take a sample from that location and return it to me.
Good health, long life.
So, you remember how I commented how the water looked very much like blood? Well, I mean, that's partly because of what and this goes back to what we saw in the initial tutorial area, is how the water and the whole area is being negatively affected by all these power cores. And that's, what the Blood Elves here are trying to really take advantage of. Those, trying to, grab those power cores and use them. That's what these setups right here are for. And it that's also what you saw earlier at that one river with all those buckets, where it was basically overflowing from those buckets into the river, where they're trying to drain these and use these, and it's leaking into the land and the water and basically kind of ruining the environment because of that, which is what the Draenei have been trying to fix since we started this area. Multiple of the quests have been oh no, we caused this inadvertently by accident, we have to fix it, otherwise it's going to do a lot of long-term damage and such to everything. And this is an area that is very much being negatively affected by that, and this is yet another example as to what's going on here and how it's being negatively affected by all this stuff and how we're trying to fix it. So, this area back over here. Ouch! Ouchies. You just love when you're trying to get somewhere and you're trying to avoid fights with things and you're just like, oh my gosh, leave me alone. Yeah, the reason the water here is so red is because of the leakage from the power cores and crystals from the Exodar wreckage into the environment. That's what's causing all this. Yeah. Oh, come on. I have to be at the waterfall? Alright, fine. Come on. Deathclaw, I already killed you once. I don't have to fight you again. Besides, some players may come by trying to get you for the quest. So, I'll just leave you be, and you just leave me be. Now we'll make our way all the way back. As long as nothing hits me with daze. Gosh, I think I'm gonna have to get a new chair. I feel like mine's starting to get a little worn out. It's starting to get a little too noisy. Some of the material's starting to wear off. Gonna have to look into that, see what good ones are available. For a decent price. Gosh, it is so weird moving this slow on a mount.
Arkenan Poros.
Don't drink the water, Miala. Of course not. Why would you think I would drink it? As I suspected, the water has turned red due to contamination from leaking core fluid. I hope you didn't swim in any of that contaminated water. You know, you could have, you know, perhaps, I don't know, told me this before I did that. But it's not like I haven't been in this water the entire time that we've been here. Okay, I'm exaggerating, but of course I've been in that water. Victory is close at hand, Miala. With the discovery of the Sun Gate, it won't be long until their supply lines are completely closed off. Now is the time to strike at their numbers. To the west, you will find numerous Seahawk camps. The Sunhawk pyromancers and defenders occupy the vast majority of the area. Find them, kill them, and return to me.
Remember the lessons of the past.
I will find you, and I will kill you. What? What? He just kind of reminded me of the famous line from Taken. I mean, we all remember that moment and that scene. I worked at the theater when that movie came out. And I remember the buzz about that movie when it came out. It was like, oh man, this movie's awesome. Liam Neeson's awesome. But then again, we all knew Liam Neeson was awesome. He was all, you know, despite, you know, I often defend Liam Neeson's casting as Qui-Gon Jinn because Qui-Gon Jinn was actually an interesting character when you think about it. When it came to how he was actually someone who was going against the complacency of the Jedi and especially the Jedi Council. But that's a whole different Star Wars discussion. I recommend checking out, if for those of you who are familiar with the channel, YouTube channel Cinema Wins, head on over to his channel and watch his videos on the Star Wars prequels. He actually goes into pretty nice detail about how about Qui-Gon Jinn and how he's actually, the decisions he made, was instincts he had was actually good compared to that of the Jedi Council, who was like, oh, that's ridiculous, because of how complacent they were getting. But in terms of the casting, I've always defended that he was a good choice for Qui-Gon Jinn. It's just unfortunate that the, what he was given to work with and the writing and the direction was not really that great for him. But of course, also, then there's Batman Begins, which I've always said is my favorite of the Dark Knight trilogy, partly because of the historical context of when that movie came out and what it meant for Batman films. And he got to end up being, spoilers, he got to be the main villain, Rish Al Ghul, even though in the movie they mistakenly called him Raz Al Ghul, and just drives me insane every time I see that film. I'm like, it's not Raz, it's Rish Al Ghul. I always go by, not just what the animated series said, which that's how they said it, but it's also how they said it in the Arkham video games. If you play Arkham City, which I've done a full playthrough of, so I highly recommend you guys head on over to my playthroughs of the Batman Arkham games. In Arkham City, they all refer to him as Rish Al Ghul, because that's the proper way that you say it. I think they even referred to him that way in Arrow. In season 3 of Arrow was the first time we really got, that they introduced the Rish Al Ghul character in that show. And I was very, very interested in how they were going to do that. Because, of course, when you're introducing a character as important to the Batman, or maybe not the Batman universe, but the DC universe, but let's be honest, he's a Batman character, a Batman villain. From the Batman universe to the Arrowverse, like Rish Al Ghul, you're obviously going to be very interested in how they're doing it. Because, of course, anytime they tease that they're going to introduce something from either, that's related to either Batman or Superman in any of the shows like that, like the CW shows, people are going to be very interested because of how iconic those two characters are. So when they added those two characters, it was like, oh my gosh, what could this mean? Obviously, some other shows ended up happening, like Supergirl and Batwoman and such, but, you guys kind of get my point, right? So, let's see. I need to Killed 3 defenders and 3 pyramids. Oh, there are other players around. Oh, this is gonna be... Oh no, it's a max level character. Why are you here? Is this one of those... Well, there's multiple characters here. But see, I don't mind these little characters like, you know, that are similar around the same level I am, because of course we're all trying to basically do the same thing. It's this 120 druid that's running around that I am concerned about. I just love getting out Powered Fortitude all of them, like, Powered Fortitude, there you go. Yeah, there's none alive, and I'm concerned it's because of this max 120 level druid that's running around killing. I don't know why. I hope it's that they're just here to do the questing, they finish the quest, and then they leave. Because if they're just going around just killing NPCs just to kind of mess with other players, that's an a-hole thing to do. Seriously. You show up and you just start killing NPCs just to mess with other players, you're a jerk. You're a big a-hole towards other players who are just simply trying to quest and have fun and play the game, and you're just trying to ruin other people's day. And I'll never understand people that actually get their jollies off on making the days of other people miserable. I will never understand how people actually like that or enjoy that. That bothers me. There are people out there that actually think that they feel that way. That the only thing that they can do to enjoy themselves or have fun is by ruining the day of other people. Let's see. Ah, it's another pyromancer over there. Can I take it? Yes, I did. All right. Whew. Got credit for it. Yes. Haha. Ha. Hurry.
I'm out of range.
Go. And that is why I like playing a priest right there. Dot. Credit. Dot. Credit.
I need to get closer. I'm out of range.
It's like, oh, look at that. And there's another
It's
right
too
there.
far.
Boom. And then I bring them over here. And then this guy can also start doing some damage and get credit for it. Because he's playing Arcane, so of course he can. And I'm done. And now I can leave and not interfere with other players doing the quest. Lovely. A Void Elf. Interesting. Ah. But obviously some players, you know, prefer questing in certain places compared to others. It's always interesting to see the difference between players who choose to level characters and such in dungeons via, or in questing. And I know people who do both, or either one. And especially during this time period before, when we're who knows how many months away from Shadowlands coming out. And, many people speculate, when is it going to come out, and is all the stuff going on in the world with the coronavirus and such, how much is that going to affect that? I know some companies that they did delay the release of their games because of that. A couple of Sony's blockbuster studios, Naughty Dog and Sucker Punch, had their games delayed their release because of this. And now they're announcing that they are planning on releasing it in a month or two. As it turns out that we may be starting to make a positive turn when it comes to this. We're not out of the woods yet, but the time to deal with that may be coming to a close sooner rather than later. which is obviously a very good thing. But I don't know if this has actually affected the release. It probably has, obviously, but
Good fortune.
I wonder just to what extent. This will surely soften up their defenses and make them think twice before rushing foolishly into our ranks. Thanks to you and the work that you did, my scouts were able to find the Sun Gate. The elves keep the portal location mobile, so that they can move it at a moment's notice, and that's why the site that you investigated was empty. The strength of such a system is also its greatest weakness. The Sun Gate is stabilized by portal controllers. If we can take down the controllers, the portal will be ours to destroy. The current Sun Gate location can be found west of here, south of the Vector Coil. Find it, and destroy it.
Remain vigilant.
I like how now the next quest has popped up over there. Of course, you know. That's funny. You're not supposed to be able to get the faster riding skill until level 40, and yet it feels like he's moving faster than I am, and I don't really know why. Also, notice that. You see that? Yeah, we're going to be dealing with that pretty soon. That's kind of what this quest right over here has to do with. But we'll get to that. For now, let us go destroy the Sun Gate. And then we shall return to clear the way. You can even see the Vector Coil. Now, just to kind of emphasize this, in case you haven't caught it, because I hope you guys have been paying attention, but just to emphasize this, the Vector Coil, I guess to put it as bluntly as a comparison as I can, compare the Vector Coil to a nuclear core in terms of power. That's basically what they're trying to draw energy and power from a nuclear core. That's what the Vector Coil basically is.
I'm out of range.
So let's see. Just get close and what? Huh! Look at that. The angle turns as I turn. That's funny. So how does this work? How am I supposed to do this? Up, up.
It's too far away.
Ah, right here. There we go. How do you destroy the Sun Gate? You click on it. Apparently. Oh, by the way, I have put on the priest outfit from Molten Core. The Vestments of Prophecy. What? Oh my goodness. Back off, Sunhawk. Back off. There you go. Just run off. It's amazing, all these chunks that just got broken off or fell apart from the Exodar when they landed, and it's just affected all of this badly. But it just speaks volumes that this is how badly they wanted to fix this. They knew how devastating this was to the place. They could see it and want to fix it as best they could. We'll see if this is the last one that he has for me before I have to head back over to that one guy for the quest over here. We'll see.
Arcanon Poros.
Smashing. We have cut off their supply line, and now all that we need to do is finish them off.
Blessings upon your
It is.
family.
Alright. Now it is time to head back and do the finale of the Blood Mist Isle questline as we clear the way. And we do the most epic and memorable and beloved of all quest types. An escort quest. Be honest, how many of you out there absolutely despise escort quests? Yeah, I'll raise my hand up on this one. However, there are at times occasions where they'll actually do one that's pretty well designed. And I think this is actually one of them. And how somber the music was here was just kind of like, man.
Chronakai Christor.
Only the most battle-hardened, noble, and positively fearless will submit to Legoso's mission. The Exarch will not order any agent out of the hand to take on the task of destroying the Vector Coil and dispatching Seronis. He refuses to send any Draenei to their death, which is why what the mission is suicide. My job is to soften up the Sunhawk defenses. You are to slay Sunhawks near the Vector Coil and keep the path clear for our champion, whoever that may be.
Favor the road traveled by few.
So yeah, we need to go clear this area up a bit, but actually we don't necessarily have to.
Each day is a blessing.
Don't accept this assignment if you value your life. Alright, I believe I read this for you guys earlier. By the way, if you guys hear noises in the background, there's just stuff going on in the other room. Sorry about that. Alright, let's go ahead and just accept this.
Safe journey.
And let's lead him on. There is no turning back now, Miala. Stay close and watch my back. So yeah, it's an escort quest, but it's actually a pretty decent designed escort quest. Oh. unfortunately, as a priest, I can be able to heal him. That's one of the things I like very often, these kind of quests, even like in the Warfronts and BFA, is if you have a hero unit, you know, like if you're doing the Dark Shore Warfront, as an example, whether it be Syrah or Maiev, you will be able to heal them in case they get attacked and they're starting to get low on health, starting to have any trouble. So that way you don't risk them dying, which would fail. Fail the quest, and you'd have to start over. If you guys will excuse me, I'll be right back. Just give me just a moment. Alright, I'm back.
I don't have a target.
Oh, how far ahead did he run off? There he is. Okay. Cover me. Alright.
I need to get closer. I need a target.
That'll do it. Quickly, take cover. Three, two, one. Don't get too excited. That was the easy part. The challenge lies ahead. Let's go. So it's worth noting, yeah, that may not be visually impressive, but this was back before they were able to really implement in-game cutscenes to help kind of showcase these things in greater detail. They really hadn't developed that yet. It wasn't until Wrath of the Lich King that they were able to actually show that. An example of that is the Wrathgate. You know, that was one of the first times they really had an in-game cutscene able to be shown as part of a questline. So, you know, there are some things during this that they probably would have been able to show better in an actual in-game cutscene and just kind of weren't really able to. So that's kind of worth noting here, since some of the stuff you should be seeing is not really all that impressive as you probably are used to seeing, but that's because it, you know, was at a point in time where they hadn't developed it yet. So yeah, there's our Eridar friend, Saronis. I believe he just said something and I was too far away because I was trying to showcase what she's doing here. As I mentioned, she's trying to basically absorb the power from the Vector Coil. Yeah, what he just said. Cover me, we have to do this quickly. Once I blow the support on this side, it will disrupt the energy beams and she'll break out. I doubt very much that she'll be happy to see us.
It's too far away.
Trying to tag some of these guys, you know, for the quest. Do a little bit of clearing up here. Take cover and be ready for the fight of your life.
I'm out of range.
Petulant children, pray to your gods, for you are about to meet them. Holy Mother of Horus. So yeah, she's absorbed some of that power, and now she's like, you know, supposed to be really strong with the power from the Vector. And this was before they really had kind of worked on their Eridar design, because obviously she doesn't necessarily look like the Eridar we see later on. It's more so like what we see at the Sunwell. You could say this is kind of one of their early designs of what they wanted the Eridar to look like. It still works. It's just not what we're used to seeing. That's all. I can't believe it. It's over. You did it. You have destroyed the Blood Elves and their leader. Now, if only you could take down a couple more of their saboteurs. Get back to Bloodwatch. I will see you there. Yeah, I'll see you there in just a moment, pal. I just have a couple more of these saboteurs to take down. Alright, just one more. There you are. Alright. So obviously they would have wanted you to actually do this quest before you did the big finale that we just did. But yeah, I hope that you guys have been paying attention with all the setup of what we learned about finding out about Saronis actually being an Eridar instead of a Draenei, having been with them for a long period of time undercover, and then trying to... yeah. Got a little power hungry and crazy. So we'll turn this in right here, and then we'll hearth back to turn that in over there, and then you'll get to see the finale that I've been telling you guys to ignore every time some other player has been doing it. It's like, just pretend that's not happening. You'll see that for real later.
Good fortune.
Hopefully a hero arrives before they are able to call forth reinforcements to guard the area that you just secured.
Be well.
Right. Now just to save on time. By the way, we just now got Levitate. Which at times can actually be very helpful. Helping get a group, like, down a certain steep area. Yeah, someone has already done it, so they've already set this up.
Blessings upon you.
You have saved the whole of Blood Mist and Azure Mist, securing the Draenei way of life on Azeroth, Miala. For this, there can be no amount of thanks, no reward, nothing large enough in scope to truly express our appreciation. Yet, there are still so many that were left behind on Draenor, who cannot be here for this historic event. You must find your way back. Find your way back to the Outland, hero of Argus. Bring our people home. Home to the land that you saved. Home to Azeroth.
Favor the road traveled by few.
And so now this is where this would actually be happening here. You would see all these members of the Blade of Argus here, you know, kneeling in honor of what you've done here to help them out. The Steel Pine are here. Some of the other Exarchs. The other trainers, the priestesses, because, you know, and then you've got Odysseus here, the members of the Alliance that you ran into earlier. And then, of course, Velen.
Will you join our cause?
These islands will serve as the home to thousands. Most of these people will remain here their entire lives. If you so desired, you could do the same. But that's not what you want, is it, Miala? No, you will do many more great things before you pass. You must embrace your destiny and meet it head-on. Before you leave, I present you with 2 gifts. This tabard is worn by only the most revered of the Hand of Argus, and this signet ring worn by our wisest sages. Wear them both with pride.
We must unite against the Legion.
And so that officially ends the Draenei Starter Zone storyline, because as you heard the other Exarch say, you're basically now being directed towards Outland, which at this point it would be, alright, now go level yourself to level 60, and then go into Outland for the Burning Crusade content. So, that is it for the Draenei Starter Zone storyline. We will be saying goodbye to our Draenei here. And when we continue this series, we will be heading to a different starter zone. And more than likely, it's going to be one that I have fond memories of and think very highly of. I'll see you guys then.